All right, we are live. We are live. What is going on, guys? What is going on, 27 Squad and Hub Watchers? What's going on, guys? We are back for I don't know what you call your fan base, man. It's the
Yeah, it's the way you said it. You were like
Hub
hub,
Watchers.
pause, watchers.
Oh yeah. I pause on that one. The Hub Watchers on
Yeah, there you
YouTube.
go.
What's going on, guys? We are back for another edition of the Young Guns podcast. We don't have too much storylines to talk about today, so we'll definitely feed off of the chat for you guys. But we do have some news to go over. Real quick, I just want to say what's up to my host Kush, aka the Hub. What's going on, man?
What up, man? How's everybody doing? Shouts out everybody in the chat. Got a good group in here tonight so far. I saw Logan's Gaming's, well, it's not Logan's Giants Zone, Sugar Tots, David AV, Rivera, Evan, Glow, Joey Yato, Max Webster, Joseph Falby. Tana was in here earlier.
Yeah, Tana was here.
Jaden Dawkins, Nicholas Osborne. Yo, that's such a like regal name, bro. Nicholas Osborne. But yeah, whatever, everybody. How y'all doing? He said Baker got traded. I really doubt it because I'm not seeing anything trending on Twitter right now.
Yeah, why am I hearing it? Why is everybody okay? That's a troll. It's got to be a troll.
It has to be, somebody putting something in there. I mean, honestly, if Baker did get traded, that would be like something amazing to talk about. But I ain't seeing anything.
That'd be insane.
Yeah.
But yeah, what's going on, guys? What's going on, everybody in the building? King Justin, Mr. Mini Guy, you guys are joining in the chat. What's going on, guys? We're just getting this started. So welcome in. Like I said earlier, we don't have too much storylines to talk about, so definitely feed off of you guys in the chat. So we'll go on from there. But there has been some news today regarding the Las Vegas Raiders. I almost said Oakland. I stopped myself real quick. The Las Vegas Raiders, they just released Tyrell Williams, wide receiver, who they signed there in mid-contract. I believe he was like 2 years in of a 4-year deal.
Yeah.
This is a guy that I sound like Chris Collinsworth for a second, but this is a guy that
here's a guy.
Yeah, here's a guy.
Here's a guy who just got released in the middle of his contract.
Right. I had to let me check him out real quick, Tyrell Williams. But I really liked him. I thought he was an underrated receiver at the time. It was Los Angeles and San Diego when he was with the Chargers, and then got himself a decent contract. I'm trying to pull up his contract right now.
He was really good with the Chargers in 2018, I remember, and that's what earned him the contract with Vegas in 19.
Right.
I can't remember how he did with Vegas, actually, to be honest with you, in 2019. But, like, if I remember correctly, he's like a streaker type receiver, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a taller guy. Definitely an outside receiver. You could throw him those deep routes, and he'll pick it up. But yeah, so he was 2 years in of a 4-year deal. So obviously, he was about hitting $11 million per year. So that's where he was. And obviously, if somebody were to pick him up, he is definitely not hitting that 10-year mark. But he is a receiver capable of being a $10 million a year receiver. So I guess the question we need to pose here is this a candidate for the New York Giants in this free agency? If we want to go cheaper, obviously we have our high-tier guys, Kenny Golladay, Allen Robinson, guys like that. Then you got your mid-tier guys with like Corey Davis and Curtis Samuel. Those are like the $10 to $12 million guys there. And then Tyrell Williams may be a guy who can have the production of a Corey Davis or a Curtis Samuel, but be cheaper. The only thing is that he gets injured. So that's something that you'll have to think about. But your thoughts on Tyrell Williams?
Yeah, you basically laid it out on the table. He's definitely going to be signed, or he should be signed for less than around 10 mil, because that's basically the contract he just got off of. And usually when a move like that happens, especially off of injury, the player goes for cheaper than what they were before, and he should go for cheaper than what he was before. The great point you brought up is potential to have the production of guys like Curtis Samuel and Corey Davis, mostly because we still have to see it consistently. So, I mean, I don't necessarily want the Giants to pick him up. Like, I retweeted the tweet. I was like, sleeper pickup maybe for the Giants, because it's all about what he could be if everything just breaks right for him. If he comes in and he regains his 2018, 2019 form in a system that actually uses him correctly and he produces, right? Like, that's everything breaking right. In that terms, it could be a sleeper pickup. And obviously depends on what any team is going to sign him to as well, not just Giants here. Like, I think he's probably going to go for maybe 8 mil. Maybe it's going to be a 1-year deal. I actually believe that's an option for every single free agent this year. A lot of them might go for a 1-year deal. Who knows? But he's definitely somebody like, I throw him in the group with like guys like Tim Patrick, who from the Broncos, who's also technically going to be a free agent and whatnot. They got potential. You're not sure exactly where they lie, but they're going to be cheap.
Yeah, so I agree with that completely. I like Tyrell, and that's another good name you brought up too. I haven't even thought about Tim Patrick too. He's a guy I gotta check his stats, Tim Patrick, but I've watched a couple of Bronco games where he's made some nice plays there. I just gotta see how consistent he would be. All right, so he actually didn't have a bad career up to this point. I don't know where he was drafted at, if he was drafted at all. Maybe somebody could look that up for me. But so in 2018, Tim Patrick, and this is just veering off to Tim Patrick, but 2018
he was an undrafted free agent.
Undrafted free agent, from Baltimore. Wow, okay.
And then he went to the 49ers and then to the Broncos.
Yeah, because this past year, 51 receptions, 742 yards. 14.5 yards per reception. That's a good average there per reception. 6 touchdowns. This is a guy that, I mean, if we needed another weapon, I think he can be.
I like his size too, 6'4", 212.
Right, and that's right around the size range of the Tamorrion Terry. So I think he's 6'4", 210. So love that. And Max Webster with the $2 super chat. What's going on, man? He says, Episode 4 tomorrow, 6 p.m. with a New York Giant content creator legend. Who is that?
Okay, Max. I'll be excited to see it. Max, I'll be honest with you, bro. I'm feeling some type of way now. You know what I mean? You haven't had me on the mic'd up with Max Webster yet, bro. Is there something you want to tell me? I'm kidding.
Saving.
I'm kidding.
Best for last, man.
Maybe. Who knows? Maybe. Definitely tune in.
When we're gonna have you guys out, whenever you slide in my DMs, man.
You know what? Max might have actually hit me up on Discord. I haven't been checking Discord lately. I wouldn't be surprised if I go to Discord right now and I see a message from Max and he's like, "Bro, I've been messaging you for like 3 weeks now, man."
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see when it happens to what happens with these wide receivers, man. And then obviously, this wide receiver pool for free agents is packed this year. It really is. We just mentioned Tyrell Williams.
It's just like that it has only 2 guys at the top.
Right.
And those 2 guys are just going to be super expensive.
Right. Yeah. And then the other guys are like mid-tier to average talent. But then you got the 2 receivers in Deshaun Jackson and Alshon Jeffrey also hitting free agency. I don't think anybody is going to be jumping the gun to really pick these guys up. They both have really serious injury issues. Very ironic. They're coming from Philadelphia. So I mean, that those are other options there, but the Giants definitely have a lot of options.
Don't be surprised if the Saints start cutting some people as well, because obviously we even covered that yesterday, like just how deep in negative cap space they are. We should really look at teams that are deep in negative cap space, and they're definitely going to be cutting guys.
Oh, for sure, And the Saints, like I said, the Saints are going to be. There's going to be some really key players from the Saints that's going to be let go this season, this offseason. So I'm excited to see that. Frosty, what's going back? Frosty, my man Frosty was going off last stream in the hub stream. Logan says, you guys remember the stream with Olawale Bitiku? Yes, I do. And that was a fun stream. I'm actually gonna look up Olawale right now.
What is Olawale up to, man?
Yeah, what's the man up to?
Let's see.
Right now,
Olawale Bitiku Jr. I think he's currently a free agent, I think.
Yeah, that sucks, man. I was rooting for him, man. I was rooting for him.
Yeah, man.
Unfortunate, very unfortunate. But yeah, guys, you guys could throw in any topics you guys want to talk about, and we'll feed off the chat here. But one thing I do want to talk about as well is obviously the reserve contract that was put through about a month ago officially got signed. It was Jonathan Harrison, the center from the New York Jets, being signed. I got to put my phone on silent. But Jonathan Harrison being officially signed to the New York Giants roster as a center. Now, this is a center who is signed for some pretty decent money, if I'm not mistaken.
Define decent money.
So decent money as far as you wouldn't sign a backup for that money. So
really?
Yeah, hold on.
That's interesting. Hold
on. Let's look at him real quick.
You did say it is a reserve contract, so
it was a reserve contract. It got officially signed. $2 million. Okay, so $2 million
Yeah, that's backup, bro. 2 mil.
No, I mean, this is a guy that doesn't even play. Let's see his other contracts.
Bro, I'm telling you right now, for 2 mil,
Did he start games?
he's coming in replacing Spencer Pulley. That's what I'm telling you right now.
Okay, yeah. So we'll see. I don't know. Usually when you
Because
see those vet minimum contract, you got like 1 year, sometimes a mil, maybe less. The $2
because
million.
Spencer Pulley, we weren't expected to re-sign him anyway. I think his contract is up, so I'm pretty sure he's just coming in to replace Pulley.
Is Pulley's contract up?
Is it not? Am I wrong about that? Like I'm like 90% sure that Spencer.
I thought
Pulley's
he got signed for
up.
a 3 year, $3 million deal, something like that.
Spencer Pulley. Either way, if we got Harrison coming in on a 2 mil contract, I think he's definitely replacing Spencer Pulley.
Right.
Oh man, according to Spot Rack, right? If this page would load,
yes,
he's
on.
It's gonna be up this year.
Yeah, it's gonna be up this year, and he has no dead cap. So maybe they want to. You're right. Maybe they want to replace Spencer Pulley there. Because they signed Spencer Pulley for some big money too. I don't understand for some big money for like a guy you're not even confident in being a starter for you. You know what I'm saying? Like
you should get the 2 super chats, by the way.
Oh snap! There was 2 super chats. I'm sorry, I was on another page. Sorry about that, guys. Let's get these super chats. Frosty in the building with a $2 donation. I'm back. He is back.
Frosty? Shout out to Diggy in the chat.
In that elite language. Max Webster with another $2 super chat. He says, here's insider as to who. It's the one and only Tana. All right, so there you go. There's a promo there, guys. Episode 4, mic'd up with Max Webster. I don't know, is it mic'd up with Max Webster or mic'd up with Max?
It's mic'd up with Max. I mean, it shows in the logo. Mic'd up with
Max I didn't see that. Yeah, there you go.
By the way,
with Tana.
Shout out to Diggy in the chat. He says Pulley is still signed. His cap hit is 2 mil. According to Spot Rack, he doesn't have a cap hit apparently.
Who?
Pulley, right? Like
Pulley. No. His cap hit is there. It's the dead cap.
Oh yeah. There's no dead cap. Yeah.
So, I mean, maybe they. Who knows?
That's what I'm thinking. I mean, I don't expect Jonathan Harrison, a guy of his level of play, considering what he's been in the NFL so far, to come in and replace Nick Gates. So the only logical thing would be to come in and replace Spencer Pulley, who hasn't even seen the field in a while anyway. So it's not exactly like we were using Spencer Pulley that much. But yeah, I mean, 2 mil, is it really that expensive? Maybe I'm out of sorts with a backup center contract.
Well, because I don't think he's very proven. Like it's same thing with the Spencer Pulley contract. It kind of was like, of course, we went through the Spencer Pulley contract, so it doesn't really matter to us anymore. But I remember when we signed Spencer Pulley, I'm like, yo, they signed him for like 3 mil a year or something like that. His cap hit was hitting like 3 mil, almost 3 mil a year, like 2 in the high 2s. So I was like, well, that means they want him to be the starter. Yet he's never started after he was re-signed for that contract. So I didn't understand that. I don't know why. Dave Gettleman just loves the hog mollies, I guess, but who knows? What's up, my man? Big Pat Sports Talk with a $2 donation, man. Enjoy working with you, man. Has some good takes. He said, "Yo, what's good, boys? Did my first show? It was cool."
Yeah,
nice.
I was in there to chat. Pretty good show. He had Benny.
Oh, nice, man. Yeah, cause I'm gonna find a way to find time to do a call in myself. I know a lot of people are asking for that as well. I want to have everybody getting a voice on my channel here.
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
What would be your perfect off season? And I saw Edward Chan ask this earlier.
Oh, I was actually gonna make a video on this, but I think
everybody's gonna make a video on it at some point, like what they would do in the off season. Right. So yeah, let's just stick with free agency, I guess.
Yeah. So okay. Free agency. I'm definitely coming out with a receiver and an answer at pass rusher. Now that answer could be Leonard Williams or it could be somebody else. So as far as that goes, wide receiver, man, call me crazy. I think I'm out on Allen Robinson and Kenny Golladay. I think I'm out because that $20 million. If I can get a receiver, if I'm so set on getting a receiver in the draft, possibly drafting 2, who knows? That's just a possibility. Not saying that's what's going to happen, but the possibility of getting 2 wide receivers in the draft. Why am I going to spend $20 million on a wide receiver? You know, I just didn't see that. I just don't see the point in that. So I think I'm out on Kenny and Allen Robinson. I can't get that $25 million. I can't wrap my head around that. So I'm going to go to a lesser degree. I'm gonna get like a Corey Davis. I'm gonna get somebody around the range, Curtis Samuel, maybe a Tyrell Williams if I know we could stay healthy. So around that range, I'm gonna pick a receiver like that. Let's just pick out of a hat and say Corey Davis. Okay, pick up a Corey Davis, and then I'm gonna go in the draft and get. We just taking free agency, right? So that's the wide receiver portion. I really wanted to my first priority when the new league year hits, and then I want to find an answer at pass rusher. So I'm going to go in my negotiations with Leonard Williams and see if we can get something going for like $17 million a year. I think that's my breaking point. That may be calling me cheap. It may be calling me cheap, but I think that's my breaking point is $17 million, man. But just because I love Leonard Williams as a pass rusher, I love what he brings on the interior. But at the same time, there's been some times like when you want a pass rusher, you want a guy that can follow the quarterback and chase the quarterback down. We don't really have a pass rusher of Leonard Williams' talent to chase the quarterback should they get out the pocket. You know, I want a faster dude. So if I pay $20 million, it'll be to like a Shaq Barrett or someone of that nature. I'll pay someone of that like that. So that's pretty much my only priorities. A lot of people may be saying, "Oh, what about corner? What about linebacker?" I'm not even thinking about that stuff right now. My main focus right now is wide receiver and pass rusher. Whether that be an edge rusher, interior pass rusher, it doesn't matter. Those are my priorities.
You got a super chat, by the way. I'm not sure how far.
Yeah, I seen that. All right, so let me go all the way back up. Joey Yotto in the building. He said, "What I say last night? Sign a center." Well, technically, that's not fair, Yotto. He was already signed.
Yeah, he was already signed from like a month before.
Yotto's he's a sleeky guy, man. He's a sleaky guy. I see what you're trying to do there.
Yeah,
man.
I made the vid on that like a month ago. We signed like 15 dudes to future reserve contracts. This is the first of I'm not sure how many. I'm not sure how many of the 15 they're actually going to go through on, but this is the first of, I'm assuming, 15. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, usually every year I check the reserve contract. We sign around like 10 or something like that. Maybe I don't know the exact number. We do sign a decent amount. Max Webster. Oh, by the way, let me get your thoughts on your perfect offseason. Well, what do you think about the offseason?
My perfect offseason, honestly, all that I want from the offseason, free agency wise, is for us to re-sign as many guys as we can. I would love if we could re-sign everybody on the defensive side, including, a lower tier guy like Kyler Fackrell. Like, I would love if we could re-sign.
I didn't even talk about everybody. Yeah.
Every single body. Like, Fackrell was good for us for the contract he had, and I think he'll come back for a similar contract. Like, there's no reason he wouldn't. Like, I want to get everybody back. That's, like, my top priority, of course. Now, of course, it's probably not realistic that we get everybody back. Who knows at that point, right? So, if Leonard Williams does walk and we have that extra bit of money, I'm not going to use it on an edge rusher because I don't like I've said this multiple times, I don't like any edge rushers in this year's free agency class. I don't like any edge rushers. Like, I don't love any edge rushers in this year's draft class. There's guys I like in the late first, early second type of round, but I truly don't believe they're going to be that guy for us. That's why I've always said, just roll with the guys we got and attack it next season. What I do with that extra 20 mil is probably focus on the defense, because I want the offense to be taken care of the draft. I want the defense to be finished up in the offseason, because I feel like we're maybe one or two veteran pieces away from being like a really elite defense. And those veteran pieces, whether it's going to be in the second linebacker or the second corner, you could use that 20 mil there. And I want to just attack the offense in the draft.
Yeah. There's so many ways we can go about this offseason, so many different ideas. I just hope the Giants make the right one. I have a next thing to talk about, but let me just get this chat right here with Max Webster. He says, "What's your guys' expectations for people like Zimenez or Zimenez? How do you exactly say his name?
I've always said Zimenez.
I say Zimenez and Zimenez. I've said it in both, like non-consciously. So
the reason I say Zimenez is because I remember when I took Spanish, the min is different from the meh, because that's the E sound, the meh, and I'm just looking at that I, so I'm like, maybe it's min.
Yeah, I don't know. The X-Men and Carter. After injury next year, I hear people begging for edge help. We have people who get pressure. They just don't stay healthy. And that, Max Webster, is exactly my point. If we went into this offseason, listen, first of all, we don't even know what Carter's season would have looked like if he would have stayed healthy. He looked good. He wasn't getting those sack numbers, but he looked good at getting pressures. We just don't know how he would have been. Maybe the Giants wouldn't be, and Giants fans and Giants analysts wouldn't be so, frantic about finding an edge rusher. If Lorenzo Carter finishes this year, then we'll be like, okay, we have the flexibility to either keep Leonard Williams, but if we don't, we have Lorenzo Carter. Unfortunately, that is not our situation this year. When it comes to Lorenzo Carter and X-Man. X-Man is the lesser of the two. He's more of a rotational guy. I think Carter can start. He just can't stay healthy. And Zimenez as well. These guys, I wouldn't call them injury prone yet. They still have in their young careers. They may have just gone through unfortunate situations that got them hurt. But because that's pretty much today's NFL game. But I'm not confident in those guys. That's why I want to answer at pass rusher. And they are very young and inexperienced. They didn't really have a set mentor as far as edge rushers go. They brought in Kyler Fackrell. Marcus Golden came and left. Who
I think could fulfill that role, not necessarily from what he's done in his career, but just like a mentor doesn't necessarily have to be somebody that was like super successful at that position.
Right.
I think who could be that is a guy that's also going to be part of that. I want to resign. Even guys like Kyler Fackrell, I think Jabal Sheard could possibly be that mentor for them.
I've heard that people want Jabal Sheard back. I would not mind that whatsoever. So I mean, we'll see. We will see.
And to add my thoughts real quick to that, you guys know that I like sometime May last year, I was like, Lorenzo Carter's going to break out. Made the video on him, dropped it, and I'm like, I just see him breaking out. He was wasted in James Betcher's system the second year. Like even the first year he wasn't really used that much, but it's like I'm looking back at the stats from the first and second year. I'm like, he got a good amount of pressure. He was being used all over the defensive line. There was times they lined this dude up at linebacker. Of course, linebacker. Line him up at defensive tackle, because one thing that's underrated about Carter is he's a great run stuffer. Like, he's a great run stuffing outside linebacker, and he has so much potential to be a great outside linebacker pass rusher. And I was so high on him coming into this year, mostly because of Kevin Sherrer, who was his outside linebackers coach at Georgia. He's now the inside linebacker coach for the Giants, but I still think for sure he's out here talking to now the new outside linebacker coach, Jeremy Pruitt, who also worked with Kevin Sherrer at Tennessee. They have a lot of the linebacker core in general. I don't think it's gonna be split. It's gonna be coached by both Pruitt and Sherrer, in my opinion, this year.
Agreed.
So I saw so many things. I'm like, he's gonna break out. Like he is the prototypical, or he's at least the frame of the prototypical new outside linebacker. And I'm just like, he was on that path almost, and then he went down. And so coming off the ACL, to be honest with you, it depends how he recovers. But if he recovers well, I'm putting him back on the same path. I could see him giving us like a 7 or 8 sack season. Yeah. And yeah, I could drop that bit in the chat if you guys want, but that was like some real old, man. That was like way long ago.
Yeah. So I'm excited about this linebacker. It seems like we got the right group of guys together. It's just, can we put it together? Can we make something out of it? So we'll see what happens. But I definitely want an answer at.
And the thing is, right? We just need them to be serviceable. That's been my main point for like months now. We just need them to be serviceable. We don't need them to be amazing. Right. And especially, this is all, to be honest with you, all dependent on if we get Williams back or not. If we get Williams back, I think we just need them to be serviceable, and the defense is going to be presumably improved, because I'm going to assume we find either a second corner or a second middle linebacker, maybe both if we get lucky, and that's just going to help them. And like I said, we're going to be fine for this year. Get that top tier edge next year.
Yeah, different ideas, man. Different philosophies for how the Giants should attack their offseason. One thing I do want to bring to attention, I made a video. I just dropped the video a couple of minutes before we even went live. So a lot of you guys
share it on screen.
I could share it on screen. How do you do that? I don't even know how to do that. But we're just going to talk about it here just a little bit about what the Giants should do with Kevin Zeitler and Evan Ingram. Now, I know it's exhausting to talk about Evan Ingram, but it's very, very, I guess, crucial to talk about it now that the new league year is coming upon us. All right, so you guys can check that video out if you guys want the extreme details about it, but I'll talk about it vaguely here. Kevin Zeitler, obviously, we need to talk about Kevin Zeitler, and we need to come to a conclusion, because I keep going back and forth with this, man. As far as Kevin Zeitler, should we keep him? Should we let him go to clear some cap space? And also Evan Ingram, who's on his 5th-year option. That money does not get guaranteed until the new league year, March 17. The Giants need to figure out if they want to keep Evan Ingram because they could save an easy $6 million if they found a way to trade Evan Ingram before March 17th. So that's pretty much what the video is about. And I wanted to get you guys' thoughts on it, especially you, Kush. What do you think? I want to get your thoughts again on Kevin Zeitler, just in case they've changed a little bit. Maybe you're swaying in different directions. And Evan Ingram, and possibly getting rid of him before the new league year.
I'm sticking with the way I feel about Kevin Zeitler, man.
Okay.
There's no way, or there's no good enough reason, in my opinion, to get rid of him. Like, the $12 million save, in my opinion, is not a good enough reason because we don't have somebody that's good enough to replace him. There's nobody that's going to slide in there immediately. I'm going to be like, all right, I'm confident they're going to do just as good of, or at the very least, very close to as good of a job that KZ did for us. Like, the dude is, not only is he a veteran leader, which I think people completely forget, he's literally probably the only vet guy that we got on the offensive line. Cam Fleming you could throw in there as well, but KZ has been in the league a lot longer. He's seen success more, and he's had success a lot more individually than Cam Fleming has had. So I definitely like that a bit more than a vet leader for us on the line, but he's also he's been the most consistent guy for us. He's arguably been our best pass blocker for us. Like, he's just been our best offensive lineman, in my opinion, over the past 2-3 years.
Okay.
And I think it's a really easy solvable situation by just extending him and restructuring it so that you clear up money this year and you pay him over the course of the next 2 years or something like that. And I don't know. I don't see a good enough reason to get rid of KZ. I think Kevin Zeitler is a guy that should stay. Honestly, like I said, the perfect scenario, and that's why it's called the perfect scenario, because it's probably not going to happen, is that we somehow re-sign everybody and still keep Kevin Zeitler. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that would be the perfect scenario. And trust me, I would love that to happen. And I wouldn't necessarily say I'm on the train to get rid of Kevin Zeitler, but I'm definitely not opposed to it. And I said this in my video, I am not saying it's a talent thing. I'm not saying it's a production thing. Kevin Zeitler has obviously been our best offensive lineman this season and seasons past, but Man, I look at that contract and I'm just the margin of between the cap hit and the dead cap is
so
I'll
offer you this, and I am just a couch GM. Obviously, I'm not no expert.
We all are.
guys, we got to clarify this now because people be taking offense to anything and everything that you put out on the internet today. But let's say, for example, we extend Kevin Zeitler for another year or two, and it's a $12 million cap hit this year, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, no, it's $14.5 million.
14.5. What if we structure it so that it's basically almost half of that? So it's an $8 million hit this year, and then
I take that. If we can restructure,
then the seven that was gone, or no, it would be 9, right? Is it 7? What's 14? Why am I blanking? The 6 that was gone from this year, you split it 3 next year and 3 the year after.
Oh man, Where'd you come up with that, man? I think you need to send a letter to Dave Gettleman, man. That's a really good.
What's his hit next year and the year after? That's the question.
This is the last year of his contract.
So yeah, what if you extend him?
So if you were to extend him, that actually makes a lot of sense. So guys, you heard it here first on the Young Guns podcast. We're making moves here. All right, we're putting out ideas. We're not just some robots. Okay, we're making ideas here. All right, so go ahead and reiterate that for the audience.
And by the way, thank you, Diggy. He says, give yourself some more credit. I'm a game chair GM. Yeah, you're right. Game chair GM. But he's 14.5, and I am speaking extremely generally because once again, I don't know the intricacies of these contracts, but if they could somehow find a way to extend them 2 years, split the $6 million, so give him 8 instead of 14 this year, split the $6 million over the next of the course 2 years, or just extend him 1 year and give him $6 million next year, $8 million this year. If he's down for that, do that. And if he needs a little bit more, he's I want to be paid a bit more than $6 million, then give him $8 million to 2 years. I don't know. But yeah. I feel like it's doable. I feel like extending him and restructuring the contract so that he gets paid less is very doable.
Right. And our cap for next season is actually pretty good, so we could afford Kevin Zeitler. Like I said, it's unfortunate because we're in such a desperation for cap space that we're looking at Kevin Zeitler all right, you might be off. So
I'll tell you
unfortunate.
my opinion can completely change if
Hmm.
we let go of him and somehow, some way, somebody already on the roster, like say Shane Lemieux, fulfills that role beautifully. Of course, my mind's gonna change. Or if honestly, I won't be surprised if we take a guard in the draft. Like I will not be surprised if we take a guard in the draft. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I would rather not, but like I would rather address it in free. If we were to get rid of Kevin Zeitler, I'd rather address it in free agency, see what happens there. I don't know who's in the free agent market right now, so I don't know if that would be a good idea or not. I'd rather not address guard. That even though offensive line has been something that Giants fans always want to address in the draft. I feel like this year is just not the year to address it early, just because we have so many other needs elsewhere. But yeah, I could agree with that. So what are your thoughts on Evan Ingram? Do you
Oh
first of
yeah,
all, I
I
think the
forgot about him.
Giants, yeah, first I think the Giants will keep him, but I'm looking at the cap. I'm looking at his cap hit right now. $6 million is an easy $6 million. First, he's liked by nobody. I mean, a couple of people out there like him. Authentic in the building. What's my man Authentic? He loves himself some Evan Ingram. My camera just doesn't want to focus today. So we're all out of whack today. But
Your camera never focuses. By
I
the
know,
way,
never.
shout out to Frosty. He's going dip. He became a legend in last night's chat. He got a school
Yeah,
project. Good luck on that, Frosty. But
later,
you
Frosty.
became a legend, but at a price. I never saw Sabrina in the chat again.
She's not in this one either, man. I'm sorry, man. But I'll let her know that you stopped by. Um, but Evan Ingram, he's not one of those guys like a Kevin Zeitler who has that production and has that consistency and is the best out of in his area of position. Well, obviously he's the best of the tight ends that we have, but as far as offensive weapons goes, he really has been a liability for us. So he's a guy that should be expendable. He's a guy that should be out there as on the chopping block. But who knows? There's no guarantee money. Nothing. We would have to pay nothing to get rid of Evan Ingram before March 17. We just save all that $6 million.
So if Spotrat is correct,
Mhm.
and I'm saying that because we're not sure. Yeah. So his cap hit this year for the fifth year the fifth year option, right, is 6 million, basically 6.013. The dead cap is 0.
Mhm.
Yeah, what's preventing us from cutting this man straight up?
That's what I'm saying. Well,
Was
I would.
what's stopping? I know what's stopping us, right? But I'm just saying, like, wow, we could
Yeah.
actually cut this man straight up. It's
Like.
not gonna happen, with good reason too, because he still could be like I'll tell you this, right? A lot of the reason, and I'm not taking away from Evan Ingram, because you guys know all season long I've been on the cut Evan Ingram train. I couldn't stand him after week 6. Every single good catch he made after week 6 just made me angrier and angrier. But to give him some solace, part of the reason he was so bad, it was because the amount of catches that was magnified. Our scope when looking at him was magnified because he was the number 1 target on the team. If Ingram is not the number 1 target in the team, which should be the way moving forward, right? Then he's not gonna drop as many balls. He's not gonna get, there's gonna be a lot of pressure taken off him. So that's a good reason in a way to keeping him, right? I'm still done with him in general, but I am saying keep that in mind for everybody.
Yeah. And yeah, he didn't because as far as weapons goes, he had 1 year with Odell in 2017. Obviously, that wasn't even a good year. Odell went out early in that
Yeah,
year,
no,
didn't he?
2017 was his best year. So Ingram was
No, I'm
doing it.
talking about
It was his rookie year, so that's probably
yeah.
why.
I'm talking about OBJ. Didn't he go out? Didn't he?
Yeah, he got injured week 3 against Chargers.
Yeah,
That terrible
yeah,
Chargers game.
right. Was OBJ part of the 2018 team too? He
Yeah.
was, right? Yeah, he was. So he spent 2 seasons with Odell. So that's like the big target. Although I guess he wasn't so much of a problem. I agree with you. He wasn't so much of a problem back then because he wasn't number 1 target. Dude, still was a problem. You know what I'm saying? So I as much as I said in the video,
And I agree with
I'm done with the
Andy
Evan Ingram
Garcia.
experiment.
I think it's all mental, but I agree with you too. I'm also just done. We've had 4 years of trying to figure it out. I'm also done.
Yeah.
But I recognize that it's something mental, which is why I genuinely think for Ingram's sake, it's probably best if he goes elsewhere.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna be mad if he stays and he works out, but as of right now, February 24th, it's probably best if he goes elsewhere.
look at what Authentic said earlier in the chat. Nelson Aguilar had a horrible time in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need that restart and just to clear your entire
Nelson
mind, get
Aguilar,
a fresh start.
This man went from having the nickname Occasional Hands to being pretty safe hands in Vegas his first year.
On top of that, dude was like a legitimate deep threat. And he
Exactly.
caught those 50, standing as his height, he was catching 50-50 balls and all that. So listen, he had a whole reset. He had a new team to play on. Maybe that's what Evan Ingram needs, So maybe he's just had too much of a bad experience with the New York Giants, and he just never was able to hit the mark. Maybe he just needs a reset. Maybe it's the best for both sides
And two
to part
things
ways.
here. First, Diggy got a psych degree. You better get on him and fix him immediately. And second, this is what I'm talking about with like what Authentic is saying. In 2018, even though he had less catches and touchdowns, he had a higher yard per catch and bigger plays. Is because he wasn't like the number one target. In 2017, the reason he was so successful is because after week 3, he was the number one target. 2020, he became the number one target. I don't know why. Maybe Jason Garrett wanted to make him it. Maybe it was the scheme or something. Maybe Garrett really just didn't trust any receiver we had. But Ingram was the number one target in 2020. Don't mistake it. And he did not succeed. So I think if the Giants do what they're supposed to do and get some legit weapons, he's going to be very low on the totem pole. He should be like the number 3 or number 4, not the number 2. He should legitimately be like the 3 or 4 target, and he'll be fine. But I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, all I gotta say is that I'm done with the Evan Ingram experiment. As much as I was really rooting for this guy, I've always had bad blood with Evan Ingram because I really wanted Ryan Ramczyk, and Ryan Ramczyk went like all the way at the bottom of the first round. We could have picked him up, but so I'm always have that bad blood for for Evan Ingram there.
The thing is, in 2017, that 2017 draft, the whole 2017 offseason, which was one of the main reasons Giants were so bad, is I think every Giants fan knew we needed to get offensive linemen. We didn't get it in the offseason, and we didn't get it in the draft. And it's just like, bro.
Right, and it'll be different. It'll be different if we got a tight end that blocks. Because tight end, especially in like old football language, the football gods language, tight end was literally a part of the offensive line. Like that was an offensive lineman. Back then, they considered tight end an offensive lineman. So if we were to get a guy like I know George Kittle went in that draft too, but nobody thought George Kittle would be what he is now. But George Kittle was a blocking guy. Like if we get a guy that blocked, I probably wouldn't be as mad. But that 2017 team was desperately in need for some sort of protection for Eli Manning. And we get a tight end who is pretty much a wide receiver.
Shout out to PTA, first of all.
PTA in the building. Yo!
PTA was handling some business on PTA's live. What was that? Like episode, he's like episode 36 or 37 or whatever. I was in there for a minute.
Yeah, he's right.
He was right there with us. And I gotta say to Andy Garcia, this came up last night when we were talking. Pat Freiermuth would be the perfect fit for this offense. It's just he's not getting to us in the second because we ain't taking him in 11 either. But he's not getting to us in the second. No. Freiermuth is an offensive tackle that plays tight end. Like that's how good he is at blocking and his size in general. And he's still a really good receiving tight end. Like dude is just amazing. Low key, I'm starting to come around to maybe Freiermuth is tight end number 1 train. Like that might be blasphemous because Kyle Pitts is just like godly at being a receiving tight end. But Freiermuth is that dude.
Yeah. And listen, man, we talked about it yesterday and it really got me thinking. That's part of the reason why I was talking about this Evan Ingram thing. It's like, I know a lot of people's argument when you say, oh, we're going to get rid of Evan Ingram, a lot of people's argument to combat that is like, well, who's going to replace him? And
which is why it's like we're not paying him that much. So it's like I really calmed down in terms of getting rid of him because we're not paying him that much. And my hope is that he's not the number 1 target going into this year. That should be everybody's hope.
But if we were to get rid of Evan Ingram and the draft obviously we would have to get rid of Evan Ingram before the draft. So we would have to really take a huge risk there in going into the draft. But I laid this scenario out to kind of stir the pot a little bit last night. And I honestly am not opposed to it whatsoever. The second round has some guys in there, some edge rushers, some cornerbacks. But I would honestly say getting Pat Freiermuth in there.
If he somehow drops.
And on top of that, with Jalen, we get like a Jalen Waddle or something like that, because I think Jalen Waddle would be the only receiver that really falls to us. That would for sure fall to us, and that's only because of injuries. But if Jalen Waddle falls to us, and Pat Freiermuth, hold on,
Jalen Waddle is godly. I just want to say that because people are low key disrespecting Jalen Waddle.
They have, but listen to this. We talk about the Kansas City Chiefs and how an offense is really predicated on 2 players. Obviously, the quarterback, right? Forget about that. But the other skill positions, the tight end, Travis Kelce, and the wide receiver, Tyreek Hill. Travis Kelce, Pat Freiermuth is Travis Kelce, and Jalen Waddle would be Tyreek
Jalen Waddle
Hill.
is literally
That,
Tyreek Hill.
but
And
that's
by the
exactly
way,
what I'm saying. And
by the
Diggy
way,
mentioned
Diggy
made a video
today. Yeah.
And that had me thinking, like, I'm putting all of this together, man. I'm putting all of this together. We would get a guy in Pat Freiermuth that's not just any tight end. This guy can take over a game
The
like
dude is
a
a
Travis
tackle.
Kelce.
He's an offensive tackle, guys.
Like, you think about you look around all the entire NFL. There wasn't a lot of teams like, Tony Gonzalez, Greg Olsen. Like, there were a couple of teams in the NFL. You won't find a lot of them. Travis Kelce, Gronkowski. There aren't a lot of teams in the NFL that were their best weapon or their most dangerous weapon is the tight end. The Giants would instantly become that with a Jalen Waddle at wide, like, because I'm just saying position wise.
Bro,
if you get yourself an elite tight end.
Going back to what I was saying about the perfect offseason, I'm gonna say once again, it's called a perfect offseason because it's probably not gonna happen. This is like if everything just breaks right for the Giants. The perfect offseason is free agency, is for the defense. That's re-signing guys and maybe getting a couple of veteran, low-cost guys in the second cornerback position or second middle linebacker position, and then just use the entire draft for I really think that would be the best way to go. It's not extremely realistic, but that's what we're talking about right now. We're using our first 2 picks on offensive guys.
Yeah.
That means we probably took care of the defense in the free agency, which I think is the way to go, but it's probably not going to happen because the world doesn't always work like that.
Right. Like, listen, man, I would be, I know it's not, we haven't talked about this up to a couple of weeks ago, like getting a tight end early in the draft, if Pat Freiermuth were to fall in there, because I think a lot of people would say, well, we have other needs. But if you get a wide receiver in the first and a guy like Pat Freiermuth in the second, I'm okay with the rest of the freaking draft. I really am. Just getting those guys in general, and especially if we get a wide receiver in free agency and just totally revamp that offense. Of course, we got to address some other needs in there as well with the rest of our picks. But I would be A-okay with where we are going with the direction of the team, giving Daniel Jones the options. And instead of just having one guy that gets open consistently, have multiple guys that get open consistently. And that will pay dividends. It's going to pay dividends.
By the way, that's
the stream.
Yo, Diggy, why are you doing this to me, bro? Now you got me thinking tunnel vision, unrealistic expectations, bro. He says perfect offseason is wide receiver 11. Package Ingram and picks. I'll tell you this, bro. You know what the perfect trade would be?
Big brain things.
You know what
right
the perfect
now
trade would be? Yo, Ingram, send Ingram, Golden Tate, and a future third to the Buffalo Bills. Take Pat Freiermuth at 30, bro. I'm telling you right now.
Dude, this is big brain things right now, man.
Bro,
that makes a lot of sense.
I'm playing 40 chess, bro.
Dude, do you know why that makes a lot of sense? You see a lot of mock drafts where the Bills are taking Pat Freiermuth at 30. We've even done that on our own mock drafts.
Bro, throwing Golden Tate because why not? I mean, they made Cole
Why not? Yeah, you're getting rid of the contract.
Bro, they made Cole Beasley an all-pro receiver. They'll take Golden Tate. Throw in a future third. Get Pat Freiermuth at 30.
That is some big brain things right now, guys. This stream is amazing. This stream has been nothing but productive. I hope Dave Gettleman is listening to this right now. If you could somehow package Evan Ingram, man, if they can do that before March 17th, my God. If they can do that before March 17th, and we could save another $6 million, that would be a perfect start to the offseason, man. Perfect start to the new year.
We might have to give up maybe the second this year, but I'd still do it because we'd have 2 firsts and then we'll pick again in the third.
I do it.
Bills, where you at, Bills? Please make this trade happen. I know y'all can make Evan Ingram work, bro. I know Josh Allen would love him.
We got a recent kind of a short spike of viewers that just popped in. So if you guys have not heard already, we just had some big brain ideas being flooded around in the chat right now. We were talking about Evan Ingram, and I was trying to stir the pot with Evan Ingram.
You should highlight Pests, because Pest is right on the train with me. We'd get rid of Evan Ingram right there.
Get him out of here! All right? So we got an answer, guys. I know a lot of people are always like, well, what's the answer? What do you want to do with Evan Ingram? You want to cut him. What do you want to do with him, right? So we got some big brain things going on right now. We want to package Evan Ingram. We were talking about getting rid of Evan Ingram before March 17th, saving $6 million from his fifth year option. But if that doesn't happen, I guess that was just a cherry on top. But trading Evan Ingram, package him with Golden Tate, and obviously our second round pick for that 30th overall pick. just to jump off a couple of spots to get Pat Fryermuth. And at 11, we were to get a guy like Jalen Waddle. And that would be absolutely insane. And that will be one step closer to having a philosophy like the Kansas City Chiefs, getting that obviously a dangerous threat there at the tight end position with Pat Fryermuth, and getting a fast, shifty wide receiver that can play on the outside and inside like a Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. So, man.
And to get another thing from the chat here, Authentic had a question. He was like, how would you feel if we had Pitts at 11 and Tamori and Cherry in the second round? As of right now, I'm not comfortable. By the time the draft comes around, maybe Tamori and Cherry goes up. Now, I'll say this. A lot of draft websites have been disrespecting him by having this man in the 7th, which is definitely not fair.
Well, why?
But as of right now, Terry is like a third, more likely 4th round player. If we get closer and closer to draft and he rises up, which I fully expect to happen, he's probably going to be 2nd or 3rd, but he's not a second player.
Now, I've heard he's had some injury concerns, which is normal for like a 6'4" receiver. It's normal. But I think the reason why people don't grade him as highly is because they're just looking at his tape from this year. If you guys would have saw his tape from this year and look at that offense this year, it was so bad. Oh my God. I mean, it was just like the Giants offense. They couldn't hold on to the ball for more than a second. So you're not giving Terry a choice to run his routes and get open. And they were having to give him the ball and screens and bubbles and quick little slants and things like that. That Florida State Guys, do not.
He also only ran like
offense,
one route.
Right. Because, I mean, that's all he had time to do. Now, I don't really know the extent of his route tree. I haven't watched his film from years ago. So maybe he was running more routes. But like you said, he ran a couple of routes because obviously that offense was not
that's on the coaches.
Yeah, when you guys are watching Tamori and Terry film, guys, do not look at the offense and think that's Tamori and Terry. His tape is really impressive. He catches those 50-50 balls. He has great speed. You know who he reminds me of? Corey Davis in college.
And to kind of go off what you're saying with his tape is really good. The reason he's not a 2nd round player yet is because he's still very much unrefined. He still has a lot of things.
Right. He still has
but that's why he's a good
his pick. Potential.
Yeah, that's why he's like a good mid-round guy as of right now.
Let me tell you, if this guy was playing for Ohio State, or I don't really think he fits an Alabama scheme, but if he was playing for a bigger school, is my point. If he was playing for a bigger school, that man would for sure have a lot better stats, a lot better draft stock, and we will be talking about him in the 2nd round. I like Tamori and Terry. I think he's a really good prospect. I just don't get the disrespect how people are putting him in the 7th round. I swear it's because of the tape in 2020, which is not his fault. So I don't know. I don't know there. But guys, I do want to let everybody know before we keep going, and we're having an amazing conversation right now. So look, sorry for the quick shameless plug, but I did reset my channel membership, guys. It just got approved today. I just published it today. So if you guys are interested in being a member of the channel, I have a new sort of system we're doing. We used to have 3 tiers, but it was almost like because having the 3 tiers was almost like having 4 different YouTube channels. You have my YouTube channel, then the 3 tiers, and to try to keep up with that was hard for me. So I made one universal tier for the channel members. If you guys are interested in being a channel member, just $5 a month, and you get pretty much everything those 3 tiers had. So it's a great bang for your buck. Early access to videos, members only streams, members only community posts, and you get your custom emojis and things like that. And obviously, you will be a mod on the channel as well. So if you guys are interested, you guys can join the channel membership. Just letting everybody know, for those of you guys that were channel members, you're not channel members anymore, because when I reset it, it takes you off. So if you guys still want to become a member, you guys can join the membership. So yeah, sorry about that. Quick shameless plug.
I want to say, did they approve it? And I guess it resets, because I've told KB, you guys have heard this as well. I'm definitely going to do the same thing at some point, because he's completely right. Trying to keep up with 3 different tiers of membership is hard, and I've essentially been giving all my members the same perks. I think, except for maybe my discount on merch, because that's very easy to regulate. Right. But all my members have been getting the same perks. I'm going to reset it very soon as well. It's going to be basically the same thing. Meet in the middle.
Yeah, so it's going to reset, because basically you have to delete those tiers and then start a new one. So once you delete those tiers, it takes off that you'll still get it for that month, but once the new month kicks around, their membership is gone. So you'll have to.
I know for a fact Frosty was lying about his project because he's already back.
Oh my god, I did amazing too.
Stop lying, bro.
Oh man, what's going on, Frosty? Welcome back in, man.
Max has a pretty good comment.
Let me find Max. Where is Max? Okay. All right. So Max says, I view right tackle situation like cornerback too. No definites, but several possible scenarios. If top 3 wide receivers and Pitts is gone at 11, would you take Slater or someone like Surtain or Farley? David Gettleman won't trade back.
I would take Surtain or Farley before I take Slater, and that's not a disrespect to Slater because Slater's extremely good.
Right.
I'd just take, like, can you imagine having 2 number 1 corners on your team? Right. Because that's what Surtain and Farley would be.
Exactly. So here's the thing, and I know a lot of people, like, we always talk about prioritizing the offense, right? But you also have to prioritize positions, right? And what you have. You're talking to the wrong guy, Max, because I'm a huge Matt Peart fan. So nobody's going to convince me to take a tackle in the first round. I don't care who it is. All right, I don't care. Well, if Penny Sewell were freaking drop all the way down, probably, maybe, right? But you're not going to convince me to get Rashawn Slater in the draft when you have Matt Peart. So I'm not going in that direction, and I love Caleb Farley. Huge fan of Caleb Farley. I like Patrick Surtain. I like him a lot. I definitely think where he's at is he's correctly graded. I like Patrick Surtain. I just okay. We got another super chat here. Okay, you good?
My hair is freaking. Yeah, nah. You know, it gets annoying. Like I have really curly hair, so I gotta like set it before it gets annoying.
Gotcha. I wish I had curly hair, man. My hair sucks. But
once you got it, you don't want it. It's hard to take care of.
Yeah, I hear that. But yeah, you're not gonna convince me to grab up Slater. So let me get the super chat real quick. The A. What's the A? What currency is that? It's got the dollar. It's got an American dollar sign, but what's the A?
Australian, maybe.
Australian currency.
Lucas, though.
Shout out to Lucas Aitken. What's going on, man? He says trade idea. Trade back to New England for J.C. Jackson and a 3rd or 4th. You mean 3rd and 4th or 3rd or 4th? I think he means 3rd or 4th, right? So San Francisco Chargers, Vikings, not likely taking a wide receiver. Could get the 3rd wide receiver at 15. Well, I think 3 wide receivers would probably be gone at 15. Probably be like with Rashad Bateman, but that's still a good option.
Yeah, I'd still do it no matter what because Bateman.
And our cornerback 2 with 1 pick and score a 3rd or 4th.
I'll say this. You don't need a cornerback 2 if you're getting J.C. Jackson from New England.
Exactly. I think that's what he's talking about. I think he said our corner. So J.C. Jackson would be the cornerback 2, and then you get that 3rd or 4th.
First of all, if this happens, this is an A+ trade, which is why I think it's not going to happen. New England has to really want a QB there at 11 if a QB is there. But I would 100% do it straight. You're talking about getting a 2nd corner in J.C. Jackson, who's been amazing the past couple of years. First of all, second of all, no, wait a minute. Isn't J.C. Jackson a free agent, or am I tripping?
No, J.C. Jackson is still under contract, but he is paid for nearly nothing right now. So obviously that would demand a lot more compensation.
So yeah, we're getting the 2nd corner we need, a really good one, and we're getting probably Rashad Bateman at 15, and we got an extra mid-round pick. 3rd or 4th. I'm doing that all day, bro.
Hell yeah! I mean, listen, man. Obviously, we're here. We are not GMs, but I just wonder how things like this don't happen for our team. Like we're talking about it here, but
because it's like, let's be honest, it's kind of unrealistic.
Yeah, but I pick up the phone and say, "Hey, listen." Pick up the phone and say, "Hey, we're interested in trading back. You give us J.C. Jackson." But here's the thing. From 11 to
Evan Ingram in the chat,
spots.
By the way. Evan Ingram in the chat.
Evan Ingram in the building. What's going on, Evan Ingram? We were talking some crap about you, but hey, look, he's holding onto the ball there.
That's Photoshop. Trust me, that's Photoshop.
Haters will think it's Photoshopped. But let me pull up that super chat again. I would definitely take this trade for sure. I mean, what are we really giving up? I think we would have to throw something in there, though. We would have to throw something in besides the 11th pick because I don't think that's enough.
I mean, if you're trading up for quarterback, that means you're probably desperate. So it would be New England calling the phone, right? I'm guessing. No, wait, but he says trade back, actually.
Trade back. We would have to. Well, no, hey, what if New England were to call us to trade up?
If New England calls us to trade up, I'm going to ask for J.C. Jackson because that's a guy that we need.
Mm-hmm.
So,
J.C.
yeah,
Jackson
I do that. Even if we don't get a 3rd or 4th and it's just J.C. Jackson, and maybe it's a future pick like next year pick, and then swapping firsts, I'd still do it in my opinion.
Because honestly,
You could get Bateman at 15, bro.
Like JC Jackson and a third or fourth round pick just for 4 spots may not be enough for us. We may have to throw something in there. So that's something next year, maybe a next year third. Get a third this year and then give up a next year third. Maybe we're talking there, but that's an amazing idea. I wish the Giants would have pulled something off.
Yeah, it's just that I don't see New England doing it, which is what we've been saying the entire time. It's just like New England, I don't know.
Right. Big Blue News in the building. If you guys don't know, that's the cuz bro, Ray in the building. This is the cousin there. So still needs to work on getting his damn channel to getting going, but there's that. But that's a pretty. Listen, man, we have some big brain ideas going on in this live here. So makes me happy. Jackson is a key player. I gotta see how much JC Jackson being paid right now because he was an undrafted free agent. So I think he's being paid like next to nothing right now. I gotta say
this, by the way, because I saw Joe Yado bought it up. Hey man, Joe Yado, he's basically my hype man, bro. He says we're forgetting about my guy OBP. Odell Beckham Pettis, bro.
Oh yeah,
that man was built different on the field.
Just to know,
he was on the field, bro. No, unmatched. No corner could cover him, bro. He was catching all the balls thrown his way. OBP is on the team, and we can't forget about first-round superstar Travon Grimes, bro. He is going to be the best wide receiver in this class.
Can we talk on a serious level, dude?
On a serious level, Travon Grimes.
I like that.
In like the 6th round, bro. He's actually
dude. I like it. I like Big Pat Sports Talk. If you're in here, man, I don't know.
Grimes is not bad.
Yeah,
bro.
He's not terrible, man. If the Giants came out and got him in the 6th round, dude, I would definitely like Travon Grimes.
Perfect if we got him in the 6th. The only reason I didn't, because I already recorded my second, my mock draft 2.0. Hopefully, it's gonna be up by next Tuesday. Is what I'm aiming for. I was looking at Travon Grimes in the 6th round. I'm like, no, there's gonna be too much of a meme pick, even though it actually kind of makes sense. I'm like, no,
dude,
I can't do it.
Man.
I was legit looking. I didn't have the guts to do it though.
I'm definitely gonna do it. I
couldn't pull the trigger.
Right? Good.
I was like, I'm gonna get absolutely like memed for this, bro.
Man. So JC Jackson is a restricted free agent. Now I always get confused at how that really works. So they had to I guess they can match any if he were to get offered, they can match anything. But I think they still have his rights exclusively. So I think they can still trade him if I'm not mistaken. But I think we would have to sign him. I don't know. Oh yeah, it's like a tender, right? You have to, in order to receive him, you have to give up a pick.
Yeah, can somebody clarify what exactly? Because I'm not still sure on it.
Because restricted free agents, it's different. Like there's different tenders out there. There are tons of different tenders out there, tons of different things in the rule books that I still am trying to understand. It's very hard. Like Marcus Golden's tender was hard to understand a little bit. So it's hard figuring that stuff out. But Lucas, if you have the inside information there, you seem like you do. Go ahead and drop that in the
Andy
chat.
Garcia says Travon Grimes was at the Senior Bowl. I saw a couple of reps. He looks good. Travon Grimes was doing good at the Senior Bowl. We're taking him in the 6th round, bro. He was doing good at the Senior Bowl.
For sure.
Giants and Senior Bowl players, bro. Come on now.
My man Joe Lutz in the building, man. Used to be a huge subscriber of mine. Would always pop up, man. I don't know where you've been at. You've been working. What's going on, Lutzy? That's my cannoli eating bastard right there. That's my boy.
I'll
Joe
tell you
Lutz.
this, by the way. Another Senior Bowl guy that stood out. I've had my eye on for a while, Quincy Roche. I had my eye on for a couple of months now. He stood out, but that's not even the guy I meant to go to. I meant to go to Ben Cleveland, guard out of
People are talking
Georgia.
About him too. People are talking
Absolutely
about him too.
Massive. The dude is built like a Viking. He's who he's built like? A younger but bigger Kevin Zeitler. Ben Cleveland, Senior Bowl superstar, just actually a really good guard. I mean, what if the Giants take him in the 4th? If they get rid of Zeitler, they get rid of Zeitler, get 12 mil, and then they take Cleveland in the 4th.
Authentic, I know. Slowly but surely, the hate Getterman trade is trying to pull you in a little bit. We're trying to reel you back in, man. One more year, just give the man one more year. All right, we have him. Just give him one more year. Let's see what kind of magic he makes. All right. So Max Webster with the info. He says, thank you so much for the $5 super chat as well, Max Webster. He said, as a restricted free agent, teams can make offers to Jackson, which the Patriots can be permitted to match. But if they don't, Jackson is likely gone. But I thought they have to Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Max Webster, and you could kind of correct me on what that actually is, but I thought there was something with like a tender base type of contract or rule set where they would have to, if Jackson were to be let go, that team that picks up Jackson would have to compensate with a pick, whatever tender they match them on, like a second round tender, third round tender, or something like that. So that like I said, that kind of stuff confuses me with the different tenders, the different types of rules, different type of contracts you could put in place. So you could let me know about that, Max Webster. But yeah, he gets one more year for sure. I like that.
I mean, hey man, I think we got to give him one more year. And I was saying in a perfect world, or just in a world where we're not cheering for the Giants and this team wasn't called the Giants, it was called the Florida Gators or something. No, that's too popular. It was called the Memphis Trains or something like that. Daniel Jones would be here for his first 4 years of like his entire rookie contract, and we wouldn't just give him one more year. You know what I'm saying?
Trains. You think about the Memphis Express, right? From the AAF.
Bro, I miss the XFL and AF. Bro.
I do. Yeah, me too.
Jesus, they were good.
The Rock bought it. He bought it.
The Rock bought it, but he ain't doing anything yet, which makes sense because they gotta build back up. Yeah. I'm guessing. And by the way, Bobbitt says, "How's Hunter going?" It's going good. But if you saw my tweet earlier, computer architecture is only easy for the first class, and after that, it just gets you completely confused.
No clue what they're talking about, guys. But Bob is in the building. What up, man? He's another guy that is an OG subscriber. Let's see. If the original team chooses not to match a contract offer from another team, the team signing the player must trade their corresponding draft pick, either first, second, or original round pick.
Well, he was undrafted, so I'm guessing it'll be first or second.
Yeah. They choose not to match a contract offer.
That's so confusing. That's really kind of confusing.
Okay. So I get it. So here's how it starts off. So let's use JC Jackson as an example. Let's use the Giants as an example as well. If the Giants were to come at him with a certain contract, and then the Patriots go out and they match that contract, but instead of continuing the bid war and kind of upping the bid, they just said, "Screw it, I'll offer a draft pick." So that's pretty much what it is. Okay, so now I understand. Thank you, Joel. That was actually really, really well put.
And by the way, Max messaged me with basically the J.C. Jackson specific restricted free agent thing. It says most fans know by now that the 25-year-old will be a restricted free agent in the offseason, and that could be a problem for Bill Belichick, who needs to figure out what to do with Stephon Gilmore after 2020. As a restricted free agent, teams can make offers to Jackson with the Patriots could match, but if they don't, Jackson is gone. The one solution is attaching a draft pick to Jackson in the form of a first or second round tender. But one thing's certain, even with that possibility, he's beginning to price himself out of New England based on the Patriots' way of business.
And now that makes a lot of sense. And Bobbitt, he is here. It's crazy, Bobbitt, how you mentioned him because he's here. So you guys can get to talking there. But Frosty, what are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Yo, Frosty, chill out, bro. Chill out. So I was about to say, in that case, what if, and this is going back to the trade idea that Lucas brought up, but then in that case, the Patriots might be more comfortable maybe even attaching Stephon Gilmore, as crazy as that sounds, to that trade than J.C. Jackson.
Right. And especially he's the younger player. He's a guy that's still and hasn't reached his prime yet. So I like J.C. Jackson a lot. I think he had a really good coverage grade by PFF. And also, and I don't really pay attention to PFF that much, but he had a really good coverage grade. I had a couple of passive defense as well, and actually had a high number of interceptions as well. Someone could say how much interception. I know he was up there as far as interceptions go. So he's a guy that can get a contract. He's going to be paid decently, not high cornerback money, I don't think, because he's only had really 1 year of good success. But he's a guy that the Patriots might want to hold on to.
Good question there, Anthony. Can we talk about who we think will be a backup QB for DJ besides McCoy, even though I think he did an okay job? I wouldn't mind having McCoy back, but I know a lot of fans don't want him back as a backup QB. They want somebody, I don't know, a bit better, I guess. Shout out to Bradley.
What's up, Bradley?
What's the backup quarterback market looking like, bro? Like, I can't believe I'm about to look this up. What is the
I
backup
don't
quarterback
know.
looking
I
like?
quite frankly don't care, but let's do it for this for the sake here.
Not only that, it is something to keep your eye on. Yo, can I not spell quarterback? Thank you. Quarterback free agents. What are the quarterback free agents looking like
Yeah,
for this year?
let's check it out
So
here.
obviously we're gonna eliminate the top guys. So that's like Dak, Jacoby, Mitch. Well, Mitch isn't a top guy, but I don't think we're bringing him in. What about, Ryan Fitzpatrick may be a little bit too much of a threat to DJ, even though I would not mind him. It's just the mentality thing. What do you think about Tyrod Taylor?
Let's see. Tyrod. Yeah, I wouldn't mind. Listen, Tyrod Taylor was a guy that has been linked to, like, not linked to the Giants, but like a scenario was made for him for the Giants even before Daniel Jones got here. I wouldn't mind bringing in Tyrod Taylor in there, man. And
Yeah,
listen,
bro, I remember back in like
hey,
2017, 2018, I was like, yo, what if Tyrod Taylor comes to the Giants, bro? We'd be good.
More big brain things right now, okay? Tyrod Taylor is another mobile quarterback, so he can learn. So Daniel Jones can learn something from him a little bit. He's also one of the most conservative freaking quarterbacks you will ever see. This guy does not turn over the ball. Who does Daniel Jones need in his corner? A guy that knows not to turn over the ball, makes the right decisions. Tyrod Taylor is like the ultimate like game manager guy. And he doesn't throw for a lot of yards, but he knows how to keep. He never had the arm talent to really make a lot of plays, but he also kept the ball away from harm's reach. So Daniel Jones has the arm talent. He has the talent. He just needs to know how not to turn over the ball. Tyrod Taylor may be a really good option. Really good option.
Might be a really good option. Yeah, I mean,
and at this point of his career, he better take just a mentorship role, So take a small contract. Later, McCoy, we're putting in Tyrod Taylor, and I wouldn't mind that whatsoever.
All depends what he would get signed for. His last contract with the Chargers was $5.5 million. I think his cap hit was. Like somebody else you could look at. What about? Ooh.
Hey, but here's the thing, though. Here's the thing.
Yeah. Ryan Fitzpatrick would be a perfect.
Here's the thing. Ryan Fitzpatrick always finds a way to start, and I don't want that.
It's going to be a mentality thing for DJ.
I don't want a quarterback carousel. I want Daniel Jones starting. But as far as Tyrod Taylor goes, remember, yes, he had a $5.5 million contract last season for the Chargers, and that was high for a backup. But remember, he wasn't supposed to be the backup. He was supposed to start. Justin Herbert wasn't even supposed to start. He only started because someone. So do
you think Tyrod is going to take a $2.25 million because that was what we signed Colt McCoy to?
Yes, I think he would. If check this out, if a team does not come to Tyrod Taylor and say, "I want you to be a starting quarterback," Tyrod Taylor is going to have to take option B and say, "I'm going to have to mentor a guy." And think about the credit he would get for teaching Daniel Jones, one of the most memed quarterbacks, for turning over the football. Think about if he would get Daniel Jones and not turn over the football.
I'm saying this right now, bro, and I've been saying this all along. Like, half of DJ's turnovers aren't even his fault, bro.
I know. I get that. But still, he's made some boneheaded decisions sometimes. If you can get Tyrod Taylor to clean that up, think about the credit Tyrod Taylor would get, and he would instantly be a freaking a known Giants legend, and he doesn't even play a snap. He'll be crucial to the Giants' success.
I'll tell you this right now. I mean, the reason I brought him up when I was looking at this list is because I'm like, he's the best option as a backup QB in my opinion that would fit with the Giants, but also because I'm like, if DJ goes out again, I more than trust Tyrod Taylor to take care of the game. More than trust him to take care of the game. Yeah. Somebody else that you could look at, and this is going to be an interesting one. I want to see how you react to this.
Okay.
Blake Bortles as a backup quarterback. As a backup quarterback.
But here's the thing.
He's definitely going to take backup quarterback money.
But here's the thing. Blake Bortles was no better than Daniel Jones.
I was going to say, Blake Bortles, he won't be coming in to be a mentor backup, kind of like Colt McCoy was and Tyler Taylor would be. He would just be coming in to be a backup in terms of insurance for the game.
But at that point, I'm keeping Colt McCoy as my. If it's between Blake Bortles or keep Colt McCoy, I'm keeping Colt McCoy. I would not. Blake Bortles was another guy that threw an interception every game he was in. I mean, the dude was constantly on the top of the interception.
I got you. Two names from the same team that are really good backup QBs.
C.J. Beathard and
Nick Mullins. Yeah, well, what about those guys?
Here's the thing. Call me crazy. And this might be, you might be like, KB, you're crazy.
I know what you're gonna say, and I agree with you. I think If you're
Let's see. Nick Mullins challenges Daniel Jones for a starting spot.
I know. That's the thing.
And I'm
like,
sorry, I'm not building around Nick Mullins. All right.
People are gonna call us crazy, but that's kind of the situation. Whenever if Nick Mullins comes in, he's low key kind of a challenge to DJ, just like how if Fitz comes in, Fitz is a challenge to DJ.
It has to be somebody that doesn't like CJ Beathard, maybe. Like CJ Beathard had his moments, but I don't think Nick Mullins.
Joe Yado, no to Mariota because Mariota is definitely a challenge.
Well, we just said, yeah, because then you're gonna get controversy. Then you're gonna get QB and Joe Judge, he says nobody has a starting role. Everybody has to prove themselves. And Marcus Mariota, who is a bust quarterback and has been thrown around in the league, and a guy that really doesn't have franchise written on it. If he starts playing better, then boom, we're starting our franchise with Marcus Mariota. So I don't want to do that. Trace McSorley.
Trace McSorley and Ben DiNucci, the most underrated quarterbacks of all time, bro.
Oh, man. Trace McSorley needs to start his rap career already, man.
You know who's on this list? Then this is not at all for the Giants or anything like that. I just want to see where he goes, especially with what happened recently on Twitter. Cam Newton, and by the way, the kid was in the wrong, guys. I can't believe people were defending that kid. Man, it was disrespectful to Cam.
I didn't see it because you know what's crazy? The reason why I didn't check it out is because there was another video a couple of years ago where it looked just like that. So I was like, okay, why is this video popping up again after all these years? There's another video where people were speaking on Cam Newton's name really badly a couple of years ago where he was trying to do something.
This dude was literally like, the kid was a bozo, bro. He was literally telling Cam, "You're trash. You're trash. You're gonna be a free agent at Cam Newton's football camp." I'm like, yo, somebody get this kid out of here, bro. Like, come on, bro. There was actually people in the comments defending the guy. I'm like, yo, Cam is in the right.
He's in the QB. That kid was in the QB camp to be like
him. Just the football camp. I don't think it was a QB camp, but the football camp. Yeah,
the football camp. Okay, but you're there to achieve your dream of being in the NFL. Respect I don't care what you're thinking about these NFL players. Daniel Jones, Blake Bortles. These guys made it. All right, you would learn something. Especially Cam Newton. Listen,
bro, there's millions of kids every year that try to get to the NFL. 1% of those millions of kids make it.
Right.
And then of that 1%, like 0.1% are starters that play for 10 plus years. And of that 0.1%, even less were NFL MVPs.
Right. And listen, I've gained a lot of respect for Cam Newton in the past. I think Cam Newton is one of the most wholehearted guys out there. I think he's a little bit misunderstood. Has a little bit of a temper on him, and obviously
I don't know if he's so I haven't observed him back. Like, I don't know, in 2015, maybe he did, but like he's super chill, man.
Well, he's super chill, but then remember he had that thing with Kelvin Benjamin and that whole beef that went on there. That's pretty much his only really bad moment that he probably didn't look like a franchise quarterback in that moment. But listen, I've gained so much respect for Cam Newton, especially watching that I Am Athlete podcast. If you guys haven't watched that, I tweeted it out. You guys got to watch that. Ocho Cinco, Cam Newton, Fred Taylor, and Brandon Marshall, 4 unique personalities just sitting on the couch talking anything in football and like that. You guys got to watch it. You really get the insight of Cam Newton and his time in New England and his struggles there. I really feel for Cam Newton, and he challenged himself to get to New England and it didn't work out, but I honestly think Cam Newton's done in this league, man.
Yeah, I honestly hope he just gets a job and like, because I still think he has something, bro. He's like, bro, this is Cam Newton, bro. Just 2 years ago, he was a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. Like, come on, man.
Right. So I mean, listen, man, I didn't like how Cam said, but I'm rich.
I think that was just a response to the kid literally calling him poor, like telling he's going to be poor.
But here's the thing. I think Cam Newton said that out of frustration, and he knows he can't say certain things to a kid. So that's pretty much what he had to bring out. And that was reaction. Yeah. I'm pretty sure he was not expecting that. So
yeah, it's your own camp. Nobody would be expecting
exactly,
it. So 2 things. The reason I was fine with it is because I think it was a direct response to the kid saying you're gonna go broke soon, which is why Cam was saying that. And then also too, it's like it's one of the only things you could say that the media won't absolutely pan you for saying.
Right. Just think about this authentic. Think about if he cursed him out. And think about if he just talked to him like an adult would have talked to him. You know? Think about he was talking to an adult. I don't think that would have fared very well. I think Cam Newton said that out of trying to give him a comeback, but not going too hard.
But I really do want to, and it's kind of sad because no team is coming to mind. But I really want to see him just get another chance with another team and see what he does. Because
it's crazy because more and more in the NFL, we're seeing more and more teams not need quarterbacks, man.
Yeah,
it's sad.
What if he goes to the Bears? but it's like the Bears are like losing that luster that they had where I'm like they were a quarterback away. The defense is kind of waning. It's still really good, don't get me
But
wrong.
at
It's kind of
that point,
waning. The weapons aren't great. It's like, I don't know.
but at that point, what choice does he have? I would go there anyway. I would go like it's either be a starter there or
I
be
low key
somewhere else.
I low key just want him to somehow stay in New England and New England just gets him some weapons. That's what I kind of want.
What if he joins Jameis in New Orleans?
That would be hilarious.
That'd be
That would
hilarious.
be actually hilarious. And I know
NFC South, back in the NFC South.
and I know that Frosty was saying it as a joke, but that's actually not a bad suggestion for backup QB Mike Glennon, who's just kind of been a journeyman backup QB. He's not going to be a bad option either.
I remember when the Bears signed him to like freaking $20 million a year or $15 million a year, something like that. And then the freaking Cardinals did somewhat the same to him. Hard story, me and HSM is in the build, and he says, "Yo, when I get off the phone with my girl, I want to call in if you guys are still on. You guys can come. We're probably gonna end it out in like 10 minutes though.
Yeah.
But we usually go into about 11 o'clock. But hey, we're gonna try to do a call in, whether it be on his channel or my channel soon. So you're welcome to join us for that as well, HSM.
Oh, Frankie G. Yeah, I know this has always been a thought just because the Rivera connection. It would be pretty cool to see Cam in Washington. My fear is that he actually gets, he actually succeeds and then it's over. I'm telling you right now, if Cam goes to Washington and he's like 70% the QB he was like just 2 years ago, bro, it's done for it's donezo for the NFC East, my guy.
Yeah, listen. I want Cam to be successful, so I don't want him to come to Washington. So, because then I'll have to force myself not to root for him and laugh at him when he throws a pick six, something like that. I don't want that. I don't want that. He's not garbage. Everybody. Here's the thing. I was on that bandwagon, said he's garbage because of what happened in New England. But
you got to analyze kind of like how we analyze it with DJ. You got to look at the situation.
If you watch that I Am Athlete podcast there with Brandon Marshall, Fred Taylor, and Ocho Cinco, they were talking about that Patriot way and all that stuff, how he was brought in there and forced it. They all have endured the Patriot way at some point. Brandon Marshall was in Denver when Josh McDaniel was there, and Ocho Cinco, Fred Taylor, and obviously Cam was a Patriot at some point in their lives. So they all knew about that, and they were all like kind of congratulating Cam for attempting to learn a system in 3 months when it takes. It was essentially a 20-year system, a 20-year type of, and you're pretty much a machine over there and things like that. And it's hard to be a Patriot. And he had to fill Tom Brady's shoes. Dude had to fill the best quarterback in NFL history's shoes, and expected to do well. So. Listen, I shout out to Cam Newton, and hopefully he finds. I don't think he's trash. I don't think he's done in the NFL, so we'll see. Yep.
Yeah, no, I guess that's about it. Like, I'm still kind of looking at the list here, and yeah, like the guys realistically for Johnson, I'm looking for. I would love Tyrod Taylor. Wouldn't mind a guy like wouldn't mind taking back McCoy, of course. Wouldn't mind a guy like Mike Glennon. I honestly wouldn't mind Blake Bortles, but like you said, at that point, just re-sign McCoy. you know who's on the list that I'm completely avoiding, and I'm like, kind of makes sense though as a backup QB, but I'm still completely avoiding him. The legendary, the New York Giants legend, Gino Smith.
Gino Smith. Oh God, I guess it would make sense to bring him back, but we have a lot of bad.
He's never coming back.
Yeah, we have a lot of bad blood with him. But here's the thing, Noah, we gotta check Cam Newton's stat line real quick. What's Cam Newton's stat line? If you realize Cam Newton was in a very similar situation as Daniel Jones was in, and that's why their stat lines are pretty similar. They didn't have a lot of great offensive weapons to work from. Okay, so that's why they were forced to use their legs, and that's why Cam Newton had a lot of rushing touchdowns and no passing touchdowns. He finished with eight passing touchdowns, and how many rushing touchdowns? I can't see how many rushing touchdowns he had. It's not showing me here. But I don't know how much rushing touchdowns. He had a lot of rushing touchdowns. But let's see, rushing. Oh, that's passing.
I'll tell you this though, his completion percentage was impressive, 65.8. That's pretty good.
Yeah, for a team that was that bad.
Yeah.
So touchdowns. All right, he had 12 rushing touchdowns, eight passing touchdowns. You look at Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones didn't even nearly have as much rushing touchdowns, but he had around the same. He only had like 11 passing touchdowns or what have you. That was because of the same thing that the Giants are dealing with is what Cam Newton and New England dealt with. the lack of offensive weapons.
Like, bro, this was their Let me sort this by position.
Oh
This
god.
was their wide receiving core
Man.
last
And
year,
remember,
bro.
half of those guys were hurt.
Yeah.
Remember that too.
So Julian Edelman, who really took a nosedive.
And he got hurt.
N'Keal Harry, who's kind of been an NFL bust up until this point.
And he got hurt.
Jacoby Myers, who was probably their best receiver for the 2020 season.
He's a former quarterback.
Dante Moncrief.
He is garbage.
This dude named Gunnar Olszewski. This dude named Demiri Bird.
Demir Bird from the
and this dude named Quincy Adeboyejo. I might have butchered that name, but he wasn't
that
even
was their receiving core.
Yeah, like
and the running game wasn't that very good either. Sonny Michel did a fine job. Sonny Michel didn't have a lot of yards, but Sonny Michel is not nearly as what he was supposed to be. And Damian Harris did okay in like 2 games, but like I said, they had nothing there.
I remember they had Mohamed Sanu at one point as well, and Sanu was so bad he got cut.
Yeah, so there it is for you guys. There it is. But guys, go ahead and leave your last final thoughts, comments, questions, concerns. Remember, guys, if you guys want to join the new membership, you guys can. It's going to be lit over there, man. A lot of members only streams. I'll be able to work with you guys a lot more, and obviously you get a discount code. I got to add that in there. You get a discount code for the merch as well.
We're still going 5 more minutes though, guys. We got
5 more minutes.
But yeah, that is a pretty good comparison to the DJ thing. Like I was saying, that their situations are very, very similar.
Real quick, Calvin. We were just talking about that earlier on the stream. I did not increase my membership fee. I resetted it and made it just. I don't know how much you were paying, Calvin. I can't remember what tier you in. You could maybe let me know. But now, what was what was that? I had gold.
He made it into just one category now.
Yeah, I made it to one tier. It's just $5 a month, and you get pretty much everything plus some with that $5 a month. So if you're interested in rejoining the membership, you can, my friend. I know you were a member for a very long time. The only reason why it booted you is because I had to reset. It didn't let me keep the membership. I had to reset all my memberships to make that universal membership. So that's the only reason why, Calvin. I'm glad that you came in and asked that question, so you're not left wondering.
Yeah, by the way, Calvin, I might be doing that soon as well, so I don't be surprised if that happens within the next couple of weeks to you as well, my guy.
Right. All right. So, keep going with your thought. I'm sorry, I cut you off.
What was I saying actually? That's a good question.
I think we were still talking about Cam. Correct me if
I was just like, listen, I really would like if he would stay with the Pats and the Pats would just get him, some better wide receivers. But if we could look at Daniel Jones and say these things about him, we have to put that to other quarterbacks as well, right? And I think it's not fair to start calling Cam Newton, who is a way better quarterback than Daniel Jones, as like just in any which way you look at it, career-wise, stat-wise, even at the college level, the dude blows DJ out the water. Like we got to give Cam some respect as well. And like it just comes back to me saying, me going back to the whole, the kid at the camp. I'm just like, yeah, it don't make no sense to me, man.
Yeah, it's sad, man. It really is sad. But let's see if we can read this chat here. Everybody, goodbye, everyone. Love you. All right, Frosty, we love you too, man. We love you too. Yeah, they're not going nowhere. All we need is a quarterback. If we have player. Oh, dang. Wait, I think BQC. I don't think he's a Giants fan though. What fan is he? Because I think he was saying the Giants are good. Like I told you guys the Giants, that you guys would be good or something like that. All right, BQC, are you a Giants fan? Because if you're saying the Giants need a quarterback, we got to talk.
What's happening with Mitch Trubisky and the Bears, bro? Why haven't they straight up cut this man yet?
I don't know. I don't think they have another option. I think they're waiting for waiting to see what happens in the draft, like Arizona did. So we'll see. We will see. Would you trade Saquon for Jeremy Chin and their what? Lestat.
Nah. You know what's funny? I loved Jeremy Chin in the 2020 draft. Yeah. I thought the Giants would have, and I wasn't wrong because I was like, the Giants could take a safety like Jeremy Chin in the mid to late rounds. I mocked him to us, I think, in the 5th round. I think he ended up going in the 3rd to the Panthers or somewhere around there.
Yeah.
And you know who else I mocked to us, bro? I hate the Panthers right now, bro. They keep taking players that I wanted the Giants to take. Brian Burns in 2019. I was like Brian Burns is going to be a perfect edge rusher for the Giants, and he goes 1 pick before us to Carolina, bro. Oh my, now I don't like the Panthers at all because they just keep taking players I want the Giants to take.
Yeah. Hey, Authentic. I'll see you later, man. I appreciate you dropping by, man. But we gotta work together soon, man. Yeah, stay in touch, man. Stay in touch. And Calvin, new
Rejoin.
member. I rejoined the membership, the new 27 squad membership. So I'm surprised it doesn't say join like 27 squad or something like that. Usually it shows the tier or whatever. But yeah, if you guys want to follow Calvin, you guys can. But appreciate you, Calvin. You're a huge supporter of mine, man. I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. But yeah. All right, guys. So we're gonna wind up ending this off here. This was a really fun stream. A lot of ideas were thrown around, man. A lot of
big brain moments.
Right, a lot of big brain moments, guys. And hold on, let me see here. All right, guys. So just a quickly shameless plug. I just uploaded a video. Of course, it didn't get like barely any views this so far, just because we went live. So if you guys, after you guys are done with this stream, you guys can check out my video I just put up. And somebody can link that if they want to. But it's all good. But with that being said, guys, any final thoughts, Hub?
I am good. I just literally came across an NFL rumors tweet that said Patriots are most likely to trade Stephon Gilmore. It is just a rumor, so they're shopping him. So I'm just like thinking back to the J.C. Jackson big brain moment we had, man. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, man. A lot of big brain moments. Got a lot of big brain moments. Yeah, it's that almost at 5K, man. I got like I think 94 more subs. So yeah. That being said, guys, for the Hub and I, we are the Young Guns, and we'll see you guys next time.